Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Canal Algérie's Nightly News. On to the headlines. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, receives the President of the Constitutional Court, Omar Boulhaj, and accepts his request to be relieved of his duties as President of the Constitutional Court. Leila Aslawi assumes the position of acting President of the Constitutional Court as the most senior member during a deliberation session to confirm the position of the President of the Constitutional Court. And after the approval of the President of the Republic, the Minister of Interior, Brahim Merred, carries out a partial reshuffle at the ranks of district heads. Also tonight we cover the military graduation ceremonies of the Higher Naval School in Temenfust and the Higher Air Force School in Iran. Regional escalation reaches new heights as Iran hits several strategic sites within the occupied territories and Zionist forces intensify their bombing on Gaza, killing over 100 civilians. And in the Sahrawi file, we hark back to Zamla massacre commemorated amid continuous Moroccan violations against the Sahrawi people denounced worldwide. Welcome back. First off, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, received on Thursday the President of the Constitutional Court, Omar Boulhaj, at his request. During the meeting, he delivered a written letter requesting his resignation from the presidency of the Constitutional Court for personal reasons, which was accepted by the President of the Republic. In accordance with the provisions of the Article 6 of the Presidential Decree No. 2020-93 on Sha'ban 5th, 1443, corresponding to March 8th, 2022, concerning the rules governing the organization of constitutional courts, the Constitutional Court is entrusted with holding a deliberation session chaired by the most senior member in the event of the office of the President becoming vacant, a copy of which shall be sent to the President of the Republic, provided that the oldest member themselves shall assume the presidency of the Constitutional Court on acting basis until a new president is appointed within a period of 15 days following the notification stipulated in the aforementioned Article 6. Indeed, the Constitutional Court has been entrusted with organizing a deliberation session to confirm the vacancy of the position of the President of the Constitutional Court. Leila Aslawi, as the most senior member, will assume the position of acting President of the Constitutional Court until a new President is appointed by the President of the Republic, in accordance with the provisions of Article 2, 7, and 8 of the Presidential Decree No. 2293 concerning the special rules for organizing the Constitutional Court. Leila Aslawi made the following statement after assuming the presidency of the Constitutional Court.
This deliberation confirms the vacancy of the position of President of the Constitutional Court. Article 2, Ms. Leila Aslawi, as the oldest member, shall assume the presidency of the Constitutional Court on an interim basis until a new president is appointed by the President of the Republic. Article 3, a copy of this deliberation shall be sent to the President of the Republic. Article 4, this deliberation shall be published in the official Gazette of the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria.
Following the approval of the President of the Republic, the Minister of Interior, Local Collectivities and Territory Planning carried out a partial reshuffle of the heads of departments in the provinces, which included promotion of 44 executives to the position of department head, transfer of 58 heads of departments, termination of the duties of 8 heads of departments, recall of 3 heads of departments to other positions. In other news, at the Higher Naval School in Temenfust, named after the late Mujahid Major General Mohammed Boutiran, the Major General bin Middah Mahfoud oversaw the graduation ceremony of 4 classes from the academic year 2024-2025. The graduates from various specialties demonstrated high competences, readiness, and advanced training. من المعرفة.
أقسم بالله العلي العظيم أن أكون الخادم الوفي لبلدي والمخلد خالد شهداء الأمجاد.
نطلب من سيادتكم الموافقة على تسليم دفعتنا باسم المجاهد المرحوم العقيل.
The Higher Naval School in Tamanfust, named after the late freedom fighter Major General Mohammed Boutigan, is regarded as one of the leading institutions for advanced military training and preparing officer cadets in various naval departments. The graduation ceremony for the 4 classes in various fields of the 2024-2025 academic year began with the inspection of the formations by Major General Mahfoud bin Maddah, commander of the naval forces. This was followed by a speech from the commander of the Higher Naval School, who urged the trainees to embrace professional values and contribute to building a modern and effective naval defense system capable of fulfilling its missions.
These graduating classes received a well-balanced combination of theoretical and practical military training, equipping them with a high level of competence that will undoubtedly enable them to carry out their future duties with confidence and professionalism.
أقسم بالله العلي العظيم أقسم بالله العلي العظيم أن أكون الخادم الوفي لبلدي أن أكون الخادم الوفي لبلدي.
After the oath was taken, certificates were awarded and ranks were conferred upon the top-performing cadets. This was followed by the handing over and receiving of the flag between the graduating class and the incoming class.
نطلب من سيادتكم الموافقة على تسمية دفعتنا باسم الشهيد البطل وكيل مصطفى.
Then a military parade performed by the graduating classes set to military music, showcasing their discipline, coordination and precision in execution. The commander of the naval forces then visited the school's museum, which highlights the history of the Algerian naval forces. He also visited a facility dedicated to various naval equipment. At the end, the family of martyr Okil Mustafa was honored by Major General Mahfoud bin Maddah, commander of the naval forces, who then signed the school's golden book.
Similarly, the Higher Air Force School Shahid Jabbar Tayyib hosted the graduation ceremony for new officer cohorts led by Major General Zubair Ghwila. The event highlighted the school's key role in training skilled personnel and showcased the graduates' operational excellence. Ms. Salila Balaman tells us more.
At one of the country's premier institutions for advanced military training, the Higher Air Force School Shahid Jabbar Tayyib bin Tafrawi hosted the graduation ceremony for new cohorts of officers across various specializations. The ceremony was presided over by Major General Zubair Ghwila, commander of the Air Forces, who began by inspecting the graduating classes, which rendered him military honors. He also toured an exhibition of air squadrons, highlighting the school's organizational structure and capabilities. The school's commander, for his part, emphasized the central role the institution plays in preparing highly qualified personnel capable of meeting the operational demands of the air forces.
Dear graduates, today you close an important chapter of your journey within the People's National Army, a chapter shaped by effort, discipline and perseverance. You have met every challenge with resolve. Now it is the time to reap the rewards of your commitment and express sincere respect and gratitude to your instructors and teachers.
أقسم بالله العظيم أن أكون الخادم الوفي لبلدي.
Following the oath-taking ceremony, diplomas and ranks were awarded to the top graduates. The graduating class was named in honor of Shahid Faris Houari.
نطلب من سيادتكم الموافقة على تسمية دفعتنا باسم الشهيد البطل فارس هواري. موافق. هذا علمنا. نضع أمانة في أعناقكم. فاحفظوا الأمانة وصونوا الوديعة ودافعوا عنها حتى آخر قطرة من دمائكم.
Impressive tactical and athletic demonstrations executed with precision and discipline showcased the high level of mastery achieved by the graduating officers. To the rhythm of military music, a carefully orchestrated parade further illustrated the cohesion and professionalism of the school's units. The ceremony continued with an aerial demonstration, during which pilots displayed the advanced skills and technical proficiency developed throughout their training, demonstrating full command of cutting-edge aviation technologies. The event concluded with a tribute to the family of Shahid Faris Houari, followed by Major General Zubair Ghouila, commander of the Air Forces, signing the school's guest book.
أقسم بالله العلي العظيم أن أكون الخادم الوفي لبلدي والمخلد خالد شمشائر الأمجاد.
نطلب من سيادتكم الموافقة على تسمية دفعتنا باسم المجاهد المشهور
In the memory file, it is the 69th anniversary of the death of martyr Shahid Ahmed Zahana, also known as Zabana. He was the first Shahid executed by guillotine during the National Liberation Revolution. The Minister of War, Veterans and Rights Holders, Laider Biga, presided over a ceremony on this occasion with the participation of the revolutionary family and historians who praised the sacrifices of this symbolic hero, an example for the new generations. Coming up in our news edition. Once again, the humanitarian aid distribution centers targeted in Gaza by the Zionist forces, and images and testimonies of the horrific massacres captured by our cameras. In the international window, as the 7th day of the Zionist attack on Iran comes to an end, Iran is retaliating as it targeted sensitive areas in Zionist-occupied territories at dawn. The occupation used around 20 missiles and armed drones, which led to a series of explosions, the demolition of a building, and damage to an important infrastructure for the Zionist soldiers, containing electronic management systems for Zionist cyber warfare. In related developments, large crowds gathered in Ahvaz, Iran, for funerals of people killed in the Zionist attacks. Also in the Middle East, precisely in Gaza Strip, the Zionist war machinery continues to escalate the intensify of its aggression and brutal attacks, acts of extermination, placing children and women in the direct line of fire through horrific massacres. Our correspondent from Gaza, Wissam Abu Zaid, documents the bloody details in this report taken up by Min al-Ma'afa.
Wherever smoke rises and the scent of gunpowder lingers, a new crime by the Zionist occupation has taken place. Such was the case in Gaza, where the Algerian television captured an airstrike on a main street. Children, women, and other civilians were rushed to the hospital in its aftermath. Remains of people are scattered on the roads. What was their sin? May Allah hold their killers accountable, just like the women and children they have murdered, innocent lives taken amid poverty and suffering. And where are they taken, you ask? To hospitals already overwhelmed with dozens of martyrs and wounded from multiple Zionist airstrikes across the north, center and south of the Strip, where the occupation targeted residential homes, tents of displaced families and gatherings of people The occupation's escalation is a clear act of genocide and a brutal violation of international law committed in plain sight, while still trying to conceal the massacres in Gaza from the world. Civil defense teams are currently handling more than 35 injuries and 3 confirmed deaths so far. The teams continue to respond to numerous casualties, with operations still ongoing at this moment. In Gaza, no one is spared. Men, women, the elderly and children alike all live under constant threat from the Zionist occupation. The Strip has become a mass grave where martyrs are buried after each relentless strike, leaving behind only shattered families and heartbreak that runs deep through every home.
Into other occupied territories, 55 years after the Zemla uprising, the Sahrawi people continue to honor the spark that ignited their national struggle. As new international calls for justice emerge, this anniversary revives not only the memory of resistance, but the urgency of a cause still unresolved. Here is Mina Salila Balaman.
More than half a century after it shook Western Sahara, the Zemla uprising is remembered not as a footnote, but as the spark that ignited the national movement. It was not simply a protest, it marked the first tangible push in the Sahrawi people's long path towards liberation. Since then, their struggle has gained ground on political, social and diplomatic fronts. This year, as part of the anniversary, Sahrawi human rights activists welcomed the recent UN resolution urging the Makhzen regime to end serious violations in the occupied territories. They see it as the result of years of tireless advocacy by the Sahrawi Human Rights Association, which continues to call on the international community to live up to its responsibilities and pressure Moroccan authorities to cease their ongoing repression of Sahrawi voices. Decades have passed, yet the suffering continues. Lives are still being lost, resources looted, and a people's rights denied. We stand firm in our call for a real democratic solution, now, not later, and we will continue to speak out against every violation committed on Sahrawi soil. والتصدي لكافة الانتهاكات الناتجة عن النزاع مهما كان مصدرها. The Zemla uprising is not just remembered, it lives on as a symbol of identity and resistance that refuses to be silenced or erased. Year after year, it is revived through every act of defiance, every demand for justice, and every step taken toward a future the Sahrawi people have never stopped fighting for.
And with that, we end tonight's bulletin. Thank you for watching. Take care.